Hey, what's up, traders? I hope you guys had a great weekend and you're off to a solid start this week. Um, I didn't have that great of a start. Like overnight session wasn't all that great. Um, and then this morning just wasn't that great. I just kind of marked time. Didn't really go anywhere one way or the other. So I had to kind of dig into my bag and my toolbox and kind of come up with something to help me just kind of walk away and just kind of put days like today in perspective. And that's kind of what I want to share with you because I had a couple of guys ask me, how do I deal with the impulsivity? The last video I did was talking about the impulsiveness is what kills us in trading, especially the prop firms use impulsivity to nail us just like the gambling casinos do. But how do you deal with that? How do you deal with the anxiety that all this creates? And I have to stop and tell myself one trade at a time, one day at a time. As day traders, that's how we have to work. My my mentor probably 10, 11 years ago told me, look, you're going to be a day trader. You have to tell yourself every day, one trade at a time, one day at a time. And for years, I had that posted on my trading platform. But to be honest with you, I don't even work in my office anymore. It's been months since I've even cut my trading platform on, that I used to use since I moved to trading futures and trading in prop firms. I don't even cut it on anymore. Even when I do my setting up my swing trades, I've got a laptop on a stand that I made, and I've got two 24-inch monitors, and that's all I need. I can roll this outside. I can roll it on the front porch. I could go anywhere with this thing and trade. So I don't even sit in my office anymore. But it's all about taking it one trade at a time, one day at a time. And then when we finish with one trade, or while we're in one trade, let's say we're in a trade, we're not thinking about anything else but that trade. We're not thinking about the one before. We're not thinking about yesterday. We're not looking to see what we're going to do next. We're taking it one trade at a time, one day at a time. And that allows us to maximize um, what we can get out of each trade. And it really works. Sometimes I got to tell myself 100 times, you know, but that's what I have to tell myself. One trade at a time, one day at a time. And guys, if you follow that as a day trader, I'm talking about day trading. If you follow that, you're going to be just fine. You're going to be able to deal with the anxiety. You're going to be able to deal with the impulsivity that the fear and the greed and all these other emotions bring on. You'll be able to deal with it. Now, I'm going to talk today. Some of you guys asked me to do this to set up the day before. Everybody, you all know I start trading at night at 6 o'clock when the futures market opens. I'm there watching because sometimes there's news that happens after 5 or, after 4, you know, and it's going to affect how the futures market opens. So I'm going to be there watching. And then 9 o'clock, 9:30 when overseas markets open, up until 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I do better. I do better overnight. And I love the fact that I could set stops and freaking go to sleep. And I do better trading at night because it's less volatile. And when we get a trend going, it typically goes. So 75% of the money I make is done overnight in overnight trading. I sat down this weekend and looked at how much money I make, and that's where it comes from. But real quick, before we get into the setup for today, guys, this is still going on. I don't know if it's going to go away. They don't tell you anything. I just get an email the next morning, and it's a new special. You don't want to let these no activation fee deals go away. That $130 credit that you get to activate your pro account, I'm telling you, it's a lifesaver sometimes. That credit means a lot. That $130, it doesn't sound like much, but it really means a lot. Especially for those of you that like to blow your pro accounts, and then you pay to reset it. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you feel like you can be confident and consistent in executing. But you want to take advantage of these deals when you can. Use code AJT66. You get 30% off the test fees, and then there's no activation fee once you pass the test and move to pro. You can get paid, from day one, or you qualify. You won't get paid on that. You got to wait for the first day to close, and then overnight they'll calculate it and they'll tell you how much you're have available to withdraw if you've met the buffer and all of that stuff. So for instance, I had a mentee, the first day he made like $2,300 in profit. Well, even though the buffer is 15 and then he made 800 more, you still can pull out the 2,000 and you get 80% of that 2,000 if you want. You start back at 25K. You have to build it back up over the buffer. Some people just build a buffer so that they can continue to withdraw. But you can withdraw every day if you want to. Just have to have multiple pro accounts, and works really, really good. This is the number one prop firm right now in terms of anything. I mean, if you don't like their rules, you're not gonna like the other people's rules. Now I know everybody hates the trailing drawdown in pro, but once you meet your buffer, the trailing drawdown locks, and it's not actually using your unrealized gains. As you're growing your buffer, it measures your unrealized gains because they want you to take profit. But once you get over the buffer, the unrealized gains don't trail you. So it's really, really good. The only drawback now is customer service is really, really slow because everybody has realized how good these guys are, and everybody wants to get paid every day. And I'm telling you, only one time in the last year I've had to wait to the next day to get my money. And that was when I think the tariffs were first announced and everybody and their mama made money and they were overloaded with payouts, but they did it. It just took a day. It took the whole 12 hours to get it processed, that they say. But most of the time, like Friday, I did it. I requested it at 7. A little after 9 o'clock, it was approved. About 10:30, I got the email saying that my deposit was sent to the bank. And by 1:30, 1:45, I think I looked at it, money was in my bank. Deposit was there. So these guys are no joke. They don't fuck around when it comes to paying out. So 30% off, no activation fee. Use code AJT66. And that'll get you that deal. All right, guys. So this is what we're here for. Let's get set up. So, first thing I do, same thing I do when I was trading stocks. First thing I do is I look at the daily chart, and I look to see how big of a window we're in terms of the daily pivots. These are areas on the chart where the price action pivoted. Like this daily level here, this is where the price went down and pivoted back up. That's a daily level. All right, this one, we can go back. And some of these, like right in here. So some of these are really close to other levels. And if they're like within $1 or $2, I'm just gonna pick one and kind of stick with it. So I don't have like 1,000 levels. But you can see right here, these are pretty tight, but they're decent windows. They're pretty tight, but they're decent, windows to get a little trade off in. All right, so I see here now we are pulling back to this daily pivot, and we may base off of this and trade up all night. That's what happened last night. We pulled back, actually pulled back close to the 20, and once we got over this daily pivot, I'm long, and I will trade this long all night. Put in a stop, put in a profit target, and when you wake up, you likely hit it. But that's what I like to do. So tonight, if I go to bed, it's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're holding this and we're above it, I'm gonna trade it the same way. I'm gonna be up. I'm gonna wake up, have my alarm set for when the markets open between 3 and 4 overseas, so I can make sure that, hey, if something happens, I can bail out with the profit that I do have. And that's what I'm gonna want to do. All right. So we see where this is. Let me move this down. I've already got them marked. They're already marked on the chart. The good thing about NinjaTrader, they save from day to day. That's what I hated about DOS when I was trading stocks. I had to mark the DOS charts every day. But this is what we've got. Don't need this anymore. This was the opening range high and low from this morning. Don't need this. So now I'm waiting for it to put in a channel, and once it breaks out the channel, that's when we get the trades. And you can see I kind of screwed up here. I got impatient. When it broke here and it didn't go and it pulled back, and then we lost the 20, I got frustrated. And I bought, and it took it off because we started to pull back. Bought it again, sold it. I was not. It was me. So I had to stop. And you see the move I missed. All because, I was a little bit impatient. Just a little bit impatient. This morning's trades, same thing. A little bit impatient. I was taking small moves. I was scalping, small moves. The best trade was this one right here, down to this daily pivot. Then I bought the bounce and sold it up here and didn't mess with it anymore until we got through. But I just kind of messed up. But we have to set up every day knowing where the daily pivots are. And so here was a good profit target, and it building on this daily pivot. Yeah, buy. Now it messed around for a while until 4 o'clock. And, we started to push. But this was a really good opportunity that I could have had a really, really good day versus just an average day. All right, so I look at, this is the S&Ps. The next one I look at, I'm going to go ahead and put this up. And I'm watching this close, is going to be gold. Now, I love trading gold overnight unless there's some geopolitical stuff happening, and then I'll, work with the S&P. So here, did pretty decent on gold early this morning, but here I was getting chopped around, taking, $30, $40, $50 profits, and I'm like, look, I'm just getting played around. So I'm going to remove this, and this is, well, I'll draw another one. I'm not going to mess with that. I want to keep that in place. So right here, we put in another channel. This is no man's land. This is where you don't want to trade because you end up doing what I did. Thankfully, I was just taking it off, and I wasn't allowing it to go too far against me. But you could see it just chops around in here. Now, once we got out of this, it didn't really go anywhere because, here we're trading up until the market closed. But then once it opened at 6, look what it did. Right up to R1. And this is where we're sitting right now. So let's look at the daily chart and let's see what kind of opportunities we have on it. And you'll be able to watch this all night long. And blow this up a little bit. And here, look at this. We are in this window. So I haven't marked this daily pivot yet. So we're in this window. Right now we're around 34. Let's just round it up. 34.14. 34.48 is the next pivot, and then we've got the 52-week high on gold at 35.09. We may be attacking this. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye on this, looking at this overnight. I would love for it to pull back and bounce off of this so I could manage my risk really, really well. But we may not get that. We may not get that. We may just get a bounce back to here to this resistance that became support. This is a significant level. So I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to extend this out because this is a key level. All right, and we'll be watching this tonight. Like, here's the daily level that you saw. The other one you can't see because it's not on the chart yet. But we're ready to go. And that's all you need to do. I can do this in 5 minutes. I just kind of talked through it I talk through it every morning. But you guys that want to trade overnight, okay, I showed you guys before how to draw the channel. It's easy to identify when you have price action that's trading inside a channel. You draw your own channel if you need to. It helps you visualize where you don't need to trade. This is where most traders die. This is where most traders get hit. If you're in the military, you know what a kill zone is. This is the market's kill zone. So sometimes you're lucky to get out of it unscathed. Sometimes your account dies in here. Sometimes you take some pretty good hits, but you're able to, survive. But this is where you don't want to mess around. Scalpers love it. They look at this and say, man, look at this. I could have bought off this level. Yeah, but you're buying into the 9, you're buying into the 20, which is the midline on the MACD. It typically does this. It doesn't always break out like this. So I just wait. So I hope that helps you guys. You can let me know in the morning when we get going in the live stream if this helps you out. If it does, I'll do it every night. I'll try to do it a little bit earlier, like maybe right after the market closes or something like that at 5, so you could be ready at 6. But don't forget, and if you want to get into trading, the prop firm is the way to go. If the prop firm was like this when I first started trading, this is 100% where I would have started. I wouldn't have started at SureTrader and dealt with all of that stuff I had to deal with. And it did shape me and hurt me into the trader I am today. But this could have done the same thing, and I would have lost a lot less money. So if you're looking to get into trading, Take Profit Trader is the way to go. Make sure you use code AJT66 and you get the best deal that they have going. They only have one deal going at a time, so there's nothing to choose from. You're just going to get the best deal that they have out. And right now, it's 30% off your tests and no activation fee. You actually get a credit, and then you use the credit to pay for your pro account. So you guys, again, if you want to get in this, you get 5 test accounts. You can come in for free. I don't sell memberships anymore. I don't deal with that. I don't sell classes. I give everything away for free. I'm beyond that. Now I'm riding off into the sunset. Chasing that lucky leprechaun. But if you want to come in, you want help navigating Take Profit Trader, you have questions, you need some immediate help, and you may not have to wait all that time on their customer service chat, I'm an email or text away. And I don't have a lot of members. I can count all my members on my hands and toes. So I can get to you. And we're not trying to grow. So there you go. So you guys have a great rest of the evening. I know this took a long time, but just wanted to do this. The videos every night will not be more than, it'll be between 5 and 8 minutes, if that. Because it doesn't take long to set this stuff up and talk about the day. All right, so you guys have a good one, and I will talk to you soon.